Thank you for joining our PBC Warrior Series. This is our next episode that we have, and my name is Tapoya Urbina, and I am the Communications Manager for PBC Awareness. And today we have joining us a beautiful and wonderful and very supportive member of our community, Miss Jill. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Hello, everybody.
So we put out routinely we put out solicitations for any of our community members that are interested in sharing their stories. And Ms. Jill was a participant in a previous campaign that we had for our Rare Disease Week video that we featured on our social media platforms. And when I put out the announcement for guests to participate, she jumped up. And I am so happy that you have volunteered to come on. What made you want to share your story with the world?
Well, I think one of the main things is because it is so rare, people need to know about it. They need to understand about it. They need to realize that we might look great on the outside. We look healthy, we're happy, we're smiling, but we have a battle, literally a battle going on inside of us. And I feel personally, whenever I think I've conquered whatever the issue is that this disease threw at me today, something else hits me tomorrow. So it's like a never ending battle. And you can express it to people as much as you want, but I just don't know if they actually realize the full impact of this disease on somebody that's dealing with it every day. It's a lot.
So, take me back. Um, when were you first diagnosed with PBC? What happened? Did you go to the doctor and they did your panels and they saw that something wasn't correct, or were you feeling ill and you wanted information? How did you discover that you had PBC?
So it was actually a long process for me to be diagnosed, which I also think is something that people need to be aware of. Probably, I want to say it was 2017. I had gestational diabetes prior to that before I had my son. So I was going to a endocrinologist just to monitor my sugar, my thyroids. I was having some issues with my thyroids, nothing real serious, no medication. And just in doing the general blood work that they do all the time, they noticed that my liver enzymes were elevated and weren't too bad. Everything else always came back perfect. Didn't seem to be a problem for anybody. So again, this is about 2017. I started to have a lot of pain, top right area. Went in, they did a bunch of testing, MRIs, CAT scans, all that, and they said, "Oh, your gallbladder's bad. Got to get that gallbladder out. That's probably why your liver enzymes are out of whack." Okay, had my gallbladder out, and I remember now it wasn't a flag for me at the time, but it is now. Um, when I went to my follow up with the surgeon after having my gallbladder removed, he said to me, "Did you have a lot of really bad gallbladder attacks where you had a lot of pain?" And I said, "Yeah, I did. I've always had issues with my stomach, so it's just, life." And he said, "I saw a scarring on your liver when I was in there and I was taking your gallbladder out." And he just basically said, "Well, it must have been all the gallbladder attacks and the backing up of everything into your liver from your gallbladder not functioning. And I'm sure it'll be fine. And your liver enzymes will go back to normal. Everything will be fine probably in a couple of months." Well, they never did. And then started my journey of going to multiple doctors, all different kinds of doctors, having all different kinds of tests. Nobody could ever figure out what was wrong. All my other blood work was perfect, other than my good cholesterol was very high. But the doctors always said, "Oh, that's fine. That's good that your good cholesterol is high. And well, we think maybe that the liver enzyme stuff was just because your gallbladder maybe did some damage to your liver before you had it out." Um, no other really major red flags then, but now I know. Oh, well, my eyes are dry, my mouth is dry, and I keep getting this pain over here, and all these little things that, I'm itchy. Or why did I get a rash again? Why am I so tired? All of these things now I know are keys to be looking at for this. So, we'd gone away on vacation. We went to a wedding. I generally never really drank. But that particular weekend, we had the rehearsal dinner, we had the regular wedding, we were with a family reunion, hundreds of people in the family that we hadn't seen in a long time out of state. So I probably, over the course of that weekend, had maybe 4 or 5 drinks, which is uncommon for me. And my body was not happy with me and reacted in a way that I thought maybe I had a kidney stone. The pain was unbelievable. I promised my husband as soon as we got back home, I was going to get to the bottom of it. I decided to go to Mayo Clinic. That was, let's see, probably about almost around 2 years ago. They did a bunch of testing. They're extremely detail oriented for anyone that goes there. If you don't go there, you should. Um, every possible I didn't even know that there was this many different blood tests that they could do. And basically, they said, we think we know what it is. We really need to do a liver biopsy to be 100% sure. I was very hesitant. I don't like needles. I had a bad situation with a biopsy of my thyroid. But I figured, well, I got to get to the bottom of this, right? This has been going on too long now. So went, had the liver biopsy. That would have been last January. So January of 25. A month later, went back, followed up, and they said, you do have PBC. So I remember looking it up, right? What do? We go on Google. And I was horrified and just so scared. They put me on urosedile right then and there 3 times a day. They said, "Don't worry, it's not as bad as you think. It's we caught this in the beginning. We're just gonna monitor it. You're gonna come in every 6 months, every 3 months. We're gonna do blood work. We'll do a fibro scan. We'll do all this testing, and we'll just, it doesn't go away." But we can try and keep it from progressing to the point where, it becomes, a life-threatening situation. So it's a lot to take in all at once. You feel very isolated. Um, for me, I'm the kind of person that wants to know everything that I can know. So I bought every book that I could buy. I read everything that I could read, had notebooks full of questions to ask next time I see the doctor. And I think that's really important for people. Um, Before you're diagnosed, after you're diagnosed, write everything down before you go see your doctor and ask a lot of questions. You must advocate for yourself. You need to be the one. You can't just assume because they're doctors and they know everything, that they understand everything. And any little minute thing that could be going on in your life, a symptom, like anything, you need to document it and let them know, because you may not see that doctor for 3 months. And that one little thing may be a key to them either solving it or changing your medication or whatever it needs to be. So you really need to be aware of what is going on in your body. Um, so after 1 year of being on urosedile, which was this January of this year, my numbers did not come down where they wanted them. They were not in range. So they added a second line medication in, which was Livdelzi. I was on it January, February, March. It was actually a long process to even get it approved by insurance. And then I had to enroll in a program with Gilead to help them offset the cost, because it's very expensive drug. So when I became approved for the year, I was ecstatic. I was like, this is amazing. So I started it this January. They shipped me a 3 month supply, took it January, February, March. The middle of March, I started to try to get my next 3 month prescription. And I kept getting messages from insurance and emails and texts that it was no longer going to be approved. So working with Mayo, I did blood work. So I had my blood work before I started it. I had my 3 month blood work after. All of my enzyme levels were back in range almost perfectly, except for one. My cholesterol was in range. Everything, I mean, it was amazing. I felt so much better. I wasn't itching. I was able to sleep at night. I wasn't as tired. And I am now my fourth appeal in with my doctors, trying to get them to approve this medication for me. So again, you're dealing with all this. You're battling all of these little side things that go along with this wonderful thing that we've inherited. And then you're battling with your insurance company, that you've had for 15 years and you pay every month to, and they approve a drug and you prove to them with your blood work that it is helping you. And they're like, no, sorry. And so it's defeating. It's upsetting to think that there's somebody sitting somewhere that probably has no idea about what this disease is. And there's something that could actually really help me. And they just say no. And it's very, very upsetting. And I'm on a lot of support groups on Facebook for people that have the same disease. And I'm noticing more and more that this is happening to people. And it's very upsetting. It really is. It's like, you don't even know if it's a person. Maybe it's AI that's just saying, nope, that medicine's not on our list. Sorry, can't have it anymore. So that's my current battle. But so that's kind of my story in a nutshell. Not really a nutshell, but
Oh, you really explained in detail your journey and the difficulties and the obstacles that you've had to overcome and are still dealing with the insurance company. Um, are you able to apply for trials with tested medication that could possibly help you?
that'll probably be my next step. Like I said, this now is the fourth appeal that my doctors have sent in. And I think if this one doesn't go through, we have to look at alternatives. I reached out to the manufacturer and I said, look, this product works for me. Do you have a trial that I could get into? You could use my data to prove that this medication is amazing for people that have this illness. But unfortunately, the person that I spoke with said that there was nothing that could be done. The program that they have only helps with your out of pocket expense if you have insurance that covers it. But unfortunately, my insurance company right now decided they don't want to cover it. So it's kind of crazy.
It is. It's very unfortunate. Do you have a team of medical physicians, or do you rely on a particular specialist or your primary care physician?
So my team at Mayo is a hepatologist as well as an endocrinologist, and that's I rely on them for everything. And then I do have a primary, but basically they just they know what's going on with me, but they don't make any type of decisions at all regarding this particular disease. Yeah, that's all handled with the team at Mayo, and I'm sure there is a team behind the two faces of the doctors that I see when I'm there.
How instrumental are they in assisting you to get the drugs that you need that will help you maintain your current levels or get them down even further?
From what I can see, there is a team that works specifically on appeals with you know, insurance programs, I guess, maybe Medicare, Medicaid, I don't know, but I have, private insurance. And I've constantly am in touch and I'm like, what can I do? Can I call anybody? Can I write a letter? And they're like, no, we got everything under control. They send me some forms every once in a while that I need to sign off, give an approval for them to do that for me. And they've sent letters and proof that this would be the best medication for me, blood work, all of that. So I do feel confident that they're doing all that they can on their end. I think that we're just hitting a brick wall with the insurance company.
So if you could speak directly to the insurance companies or the people that are authorized to approve the medication that you need to feel better, what would you like to say to them?
That's a great question. I'm from New Jersey originally, so um, I'm on a journey to try to be more mindful of my words. And so I would try to keep calm and try to, really try to make them understand that this disease doesn't go away. It doesn't stop. All we can do is slow it down. And there's a lot of people that are a lot younger than I am that have it. So their journey is going to be a lot longer than mine. And anything that we can do to slow down that progression for people until there's some kind of miracle medication or drug or vaccine or something that comes along that helps us, right? They really need to understand that. I understand it's an expensive medication, but what's it going to cost you down the road if you need to give me a liver transplant? Or if I end up with liver cancer or a problem with my kidneys, because that could be a side effect of this, or any of the other things. Not to mention the daily suffering that you go through. It could be brutal some days. And I am still working and I'm going to continue to work as long as I can, not be a burden on the system. I don't want to collect, disability. I want to be able to be, a positive person in my community. And I think that getting up and making myself have to go to work is a good thing. I can see it being a terrible cycle for people who let the fatigue get to that point where they just can't get out of bed every day. And I can't even imagine what it's like for them mentally to have to deal with that. I refuse to allow that to happen to me. I will fight it as much as I can. But it really, I think you grow up your whole life, and I'm somebody that's like, oh, you have to have insurance. I would never leave a job unless I knew I had another job where I would have insurance right away, and always carried it over with Cobra, whatever I did, because I always felt like that's something you have to have. You need that protection. You need to have those people on your side if, you ever needed them for medication, for an illness, for whatever. And then when, you're 59 years old and it's the first time in your life that you really need them and they just say no. And to make it even worse, first they said yes. So you know that there's something that works for you and you know that there's something that can make your life substantially better. And they let you try it, but then they say, no, you can't have it anymore with no reason, no explanation. Just no, we're not covering that drug anymore. So it's really kind of blows your mind. You're just like, what the heck is going on? You know, it's hard to wrap your head around it sometimes. And you always hear horror stories about people that, they can't get their medication and their insurance, and you don't really realize the impact of it, of course, until you're sitting in those shoes.
So, do you have you said that you found community on Facebook groups to help support you emotionally through this. Do you have community in your town and in your circle that can also um, be able to support you through your journey?
I would love to find somebody else that has this, that lives in my area. Um, just to have somebody to actually really talk to. Putting little messages out on Facebook groups and stuff is great. And I have to tell you, it has helped me immensely, because I'll be like, well, this is a weird thing that I feel, or that, what is this on my arm? Or, and you can put it out there, and in 5 minutes, you got 15 people that, oh yeah, I had that. Don't worry, it's okay. Or, yeah, you need to go talk to the doctor. Or, so it's great to have people, because it is very, very isolating to know that we have something that is such, it's pretty rare, and there's not a lot of people that have it. And people that you talk to and you tell them it's a liver thing right away, it's like, oh, were you a drinker? No, I really wasn't. I just got lucky and got this autoimmune disease. So, and again, I think I have a great group of friends. Obviously, I'm married. My mom is still with me. And brother, sister-in-laws, that kind of stuff. And they all know that I have this. It's no shock. Um, and no matter how much I talk about it, I just don't feel like they truly get it. So I would love to be able to either be at an event, or maybe somehow link with other people in my community. Face to face would be great. Out in a public setting, in a cafe or something, and just meet for an hour and just, you know, definitely would help with the isolation of it, I think.
And you're in New Jersey now?
No, no. I grew up in New Jersey. I live in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
What
lucky
part of
that
Florida?
I'm in the northeast part of Florida.
Okay.
I'm very fortunate to be less than an hour from Mayo Clinic
Okay.
that's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
yeah.
any community members, any PBC patients in the North Florida area, Jill would love to connect with you.
Yes. Yes. I'm in between Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Okay, so to let you know, we will be having a meet up hosted by the PBC Awareness Organization during PBC Awareness Month. And we are going to have them regionally. So we are working on having a meetup in the Florida area.
Wonderful.
So we will keep you posted. We will keep everyone posted of the details as we flesh them out and get everything finalized. But that is our intention. So we want to make a space for PBC patients to come together and meet each other in person outside of our biannual conference that we have. So this will be an opportunity for you to meet other PBC patients in the area, in the region, and to be able to exchange contact information so that you can keep in touch outside of the events that we host.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I would love that.
Awesome. Um, is there anything that you would like for I know that you express advocacy is important for PBC patients. Is there anything that you would like to express to caregivers of PBC patients that might help them to better assist their loved ones that are going through this disease?
Yeah, I think that like I said earlier, we might look okay on the outside, but there is a battle going on inside our bodies. And you know, the word PBC warrior comes up a lot, and we truly are warriors. You don't know that we're going crazy itching and we were up all night and we can't fall asleep and our bodies are just exhausted. And no matter what you do and how much you lay down, you don't feel any better. And, you might have pain today and tomorrow it'll be itching. And it's just, you just learn to live with it after a while. It becomes your normal. Um, if anybody stepped in our skin, I think, for 10 minutes, they might be completely overwhelmed. And I think it's good for people to know that not only it's the physical stuff that we're going with, but mentally, again, it's a disease that just keeps giving. The more you read about it, the more things you find out you could have down the road or different things that you have to look for. So it can be very, very overwhelming at times mentally. And I know for myself, when I'm having an issue dealing with things, I just kind of shut down and I don't want to talk on the phone to anybody. And, that's just my way of dealing with it. So, I think that's a big part of it too. If somebody that you love that has this starts to shut down maybe and not talk, maybe give them a little space, but then just let them know that you're there for them. And while you can't physically understand what's going on with them, maybe, try and be there mentally for them. I found that doing lately I've been doing a lot of mindful things, mindful thinking and meditation. And because I find that there's so much involved with this, my brain just never stops, never shuts off. So I'm trying to find a way to give my brain a little bit of peace, and hopefully it will radiate through my body and into my liver. And, that'll just spread out and just make life a little bit easier. As women, which most of us are women that have this, um, we're wives, we're mothers, we're grandmothers, we could be caregivers for our parents, which I am all of those things. You put yourself on the back burner a lot. And there will come a point when your liver says, excuse me, you know, you got to worry about yourself for a little bit here. And you feel like you kind of set yourself back a little bit. Um, I'm lucky that with my job, I work at a school. So I have the summer months where I kind of feel like I can rebuild my energy. It's almost like you're building up your energy bank again, like you're a battery. And I'll know I'll have 2 weeks off during Christmas, and I'll have a week off for spring break, and I'll have a week off for Thanksgiving. And if I didn't have those things where I feel like I can kind of reset and recharge, it would be tough. It would be a tough thing. So
Do you have any, you said that you listen to mindful meditations and resources. Do you have any that you can recommend to any of the viewers that may be looking for ways that they can relax and just haven't found anything that worked for them?
yeah, I actually there's an app. It's from UCLA, and it's their mindfulness app. And I find it to be great. There's a lot of educational information on there, as well as meditations, everything from 1 minute to 12 minutes to 45 minutes. And it is, I used to meditate a lot years ago, and then the past year has been a lot for me. It was very overwhelming. Lots of stuff going on with other people other than myself that I was taking care of. So I got away from it, and now I'm trying to get back into it. And it is a practice. So, I used to meditate twice a day for maybe a half hour. I'm lucky if I could do 5 minutes now. So I kind of set myself back with it. And now I have to try and get back into it again. So anybody that's starting to do it, start with 1 minute, 1 minute, one day, and then maybe add in 1 minute in the morning and 1 minute in the afternoon and ease into it, because it is difficult to quiet your mind when you have so much going on in your life. But I think it's worth it. I think that it's time that you're by yourself. It's time that you can reflect. It's time that you can kind of reset everything. Um, Exercising for me, I just don't have the energy for it right now. So I can't exercise my body, but maybe I can exercise my mind a little bit.
Well, you have been such a blessing
Thank
to
you.
everyone that is so fortunate enough to watch this episode, because I think that sharing your story, you don't know how far your story will go. You don't know how many lives you'll reach. And I think that if you can just reach one, then you've
Yeah.
made a significant improvement in the world. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Do you have any final words before we head out?
No, just again, just for anybody, just learn as much as you can learn. Don't do it on Google. Get some books, some, good books written by doctors that know what they're talking about. And do your own research, and you have to be your own advocate, and you have to be able to open up and talk to people in your family, your support system, your loved ones, and say it 100 times a day if you have to, where, I can't do it today. You have to be able to say no sometimes, which again, as women, it's hard for us because we're the caretakers for everybody that we know, right? So you need to be able to step aside sometimes and just say, okay, I got to take this time for me. And that's the biggest thing. I'm still working on it, but you know,
We
we
all are. We all
yeah.
are. So how can they reach you in Facebook? What is your handle so that people can reach out to you?
Yeah. I'm not real techie, but
Okay.
I guess it's just your name, right? You could search somebody's name, I
Yes.
think, on Facebook, right? So
Yes.
it's Jill, Jill, and my last name is Franzoi. F is in Frank, Ranzoi. And
Awesome.
I am a follower of
Yes.
your page on there.
Yes.
So I don't know if they can see me on there and make friends. I'm not sure how the
Well,
whole thing
we're
works.
we're going to highlight your name so that they can go directly to your profile.
Okay.
But for people who are watching on YouTube, they now know how to reach you.
Oh, I'm on YouTube. Wow.
Yes,
I
you're going to
guess
be on YouTube.
I guess I should go on there.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Jill. It's been lovely meeting you. and speaking to you. And we will definitely keep in touch. And we look forward to seeing you at our PBC Awareness Month event. We'll keep you posted on the details. We'll keep everyone posted on the details. So thank you again for tuning in for this episode of PBC Warrior, and we look forward to having you join us and be a part of our follower and our community and Facebook and all of our other social media platforms. Thanks, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Keep fighting, everybody.